Mm-mm-mm. Where's my headset? Mm-mm. Clean this up and I head out. Yeah. Cleaned up and headed out. Hey, good morning, people. Let's see here. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, or do I need to put the Bluetooth on? Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, good. Hey, Truck and Trips and Reefer, what's up? Tiffany, what's up? We'll wait for a few more people because I'm a little late coming in. Trayvon, what's up? Oh, man. Y'all, I'm just waking up. That 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. is kicking my butt. I was on the phone with drivers last night. Let's see. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna let people roll in. Um, y'all know I'm off the truck, but I'm still working in truck, and I'm like a nighttime dispatch manager for the after hours for one of the large trucking companies here in the Valley in Arizona. And my shift is 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then I have one of my homegirls. She's actually was working for the veterans, and she's actually coming out here. She's coming over to the trucking company. She had done work for UPS Logistics, so she's coming in as a breakdown manager, and she'll be starting Monday. So she's coming and crashing with me until she finds her crib here because she's transferring from Vegas. So I gotta finish the living room because they're gonna be crashing in here with air mattresses because I'm in a 1 bedroom. Hey, Kid Danger, what's up? Let's see who else is in here. Patience, what's up, people? Okay. And Tiffany, I said hi to you this morning. Trayvon. Yeah, I got you guys. And we'll get into it. I'll give it just a few more seconds and I'll get into it because I read the article. Was it last night? I got in here and I was checking on the Trucker 411 on the Facebook page. I had some alerts from our group. And then I saw the Celadon. The thing was, I thought the Celadon closure was going to happen several years ago. We'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to put some links below because I did a video on them a long time ago when they ran into their first financial hiccup based on the mismanagement of funds and the previous leadership who took them into the dirt. But anyway, all right, so I'm just going to get into it if you guys haven't. So I'm on like CDL Life and some other groups that I get articles from through my email. And when you're in this industry, people, my attitude is please read about whatever industry you're in. If you're a nurse, you should be looking at healthcare and getting alerts and be aware of your industry so that there's not surprises because you could be working for these companies and all of a sudden, you be out there on the road and, oh, I didn't know my company was going to close. I talked to a driver. Let me tell y'all a story real quick and then I'm going to jump into this. So because I'm doing the whole dispatch manager side of it now, I'm talking to a driver the other day. He calls me. He's like, hey, I got this load here and they gave me this information, but the trailer, it's not our trailer. I said, the trailer ain't our trailer. No, they want me to pick up this trailer. It's not a trailer. Now, sometimes you'll carry trailers for other companies. If you're doing they didn't have enough people, so they'll subcontract to whoever. They'll say, hey, Swift, can you Swift will take a freight from Conway, for example. I did that back in the day. FedEx, whoever. So they'll subcontract to these other companies to carry the freight because that company may not have enough drivers or they overwhelmed with the loads they got. And so they'll hire out a company to take the freight for them. And sometimes they'll have them drive their trailer. Like Walmart, you'll see different companies, CR England and Swift and other companies who are dedicated drivers to help them get their freight where it's supposed to go, right? just the arrangement. So I look, I don't see anything on there. So he finally tells me the name on the back of the truck. I could have went through that phone. I said, bro. I didn't say bro, but I said, that is the same company you work for. But it's a different name on there. This company owns 4 different carriers. How long have you worked for them? I only been working here 2 months. But because I'm a truck driver and because I drove, I know that this company owns X, Y, and Z companies. I know that these are subsidiaries. I know that I can see XYZ company carrying this company because they're all merged. How long you been driving? Pay attention, people. And he's like, you mean that's owned by us? Yeah. Bro, pick that trailer up. Crazy as hell. Had no clue. You've been here over a year. I only been working for you 2 months. I drove for everybody else and their mama. And I didn't even drive for you. And you don't know who you're. During my interview process, the man asked me, what do you know about our company? Why did I go back to the management of the company and break some stuff down? I broke down the history of the company because you need to know the industry. If you're working in it, granted you might be in there for a paycheck, but you need to know. So anyway, Celadon. So it was about 2000, been a couple years ago. I think I did a video. I have to see if I can find it. Hey, what's up, DL? What's up, baby? Let's see who else in here. I didn't say anything. Hey, how do you say your name? D. Edebeko Po. I said name wrong, but you know I know you. Hey, D, what's up? Patience already said what's up. Okay, we got everybody here. So here's what, here at DL, I said, hey, good morning. So here's what happened. I did a video a while back. Celadon, so Trucker Bill, y'all know Trucker Bill's like my mentor into the industry, right? Trucker Bill, he worked for Celadon back in the day when the daddy owned Celadon, when for the owner of the company. Hey, what's up, Danielle? Getting ready to get into it, baby. I'll probably call you later today. So Trucker Bill worked for Celadon back when the father who started Celadon owned it. Bill has pictures with Celadon, with the big guy, because he was like one of the major drivers. So he got like awards and stuff and was one of their little favorite drivers back in the day. And he worked for Celadon back in the day. I think mainly he drove like in the Texas area, stuff like that. One of his first, second, or third wives. Trucker Bill. So Bill, he was trying to point me to Celadon a long time ago. I didn't go to Celadon because trucking companies can change over time, especially if the management changes. Celadon ended up somewhere along the line. I don't know if the father died. I don't know what took place, but someone else ended up taking over and became the owner of Celadon, or the leadership of Celadon, not the owner, but leadership. Now, I don't know if Celadon was publicly traded. I didn't research that. But oftentimes, if it's publicly traded, they may appoint somebody into the leadership role. I have no idea which one it is, chicken or the egg, but I do know that the son was working in the office. He was not the leadership of the company. He was not the head of the company. They had some other man in that headship position. Typical of America business, somebody got greedy, the headship, and began to mismanage the funds and some other things. Misappropriation of funds, some other shady McLaughlin stuff going on, taking money. And Celadon got in trouble it was about 2016. It's been a couple years ago. They got in trouble. They got this idiot up out of the leadership role, and they put the son, one of the family, the son who was of the initial founding family of Celadon, in a position, and they actually floated. I'm shocked they floated for almost 2-3 years now, and because I thought they were going to close back then based on what they had written down on the issues with Celadon and the misappropriation of funds and agreements and all this other stuff this dude had done, and all the financial corruption that had taken place with Celadon. I did not think they were going to last 3 years. I was like telling drivers, if I was you, I'd be gone. Well, they lasted about 3 years. And as this old saying, the chickens have come home to roost. The lawsuits happened. And the article I read last night, I think it said like 42 million plus dollars in damages that Celadon agreed to, but they don't have the money to do it. So they're now doing a bankruptcy, and they're going to be closing their doors Monday. Driver's cards, if you're with Celadon, are still working as of the article I read last night. How that's going to work on Monday, I have no idea. So for my Celadon drivers, my brothers and sisters that are out there on the road, y'all might want to start working y'all way home and getting y'all money up so that prayerfully they'll do it where they, not like other companies have done it, and do it a little more tactfully. I think the only company that I knew, the most tactful closure was I think it was Stevens when they closed their tanker division. But Stevens itself is still running. They just closed their tanker division, and they tactfully got their drivers back home, to my knowledge. No fuel cards were cut off. They warned their drivers way in advance of what was coming. And they handled that very well as far as, but it was only a division. Schneider, I think, is another one who has closed and done some layoffs in divisions. It's still a running company, but again, I think they've handled it very tactfully. Celadon, I don't know to what degree they knew. I don't know to what degree they've warned the drivers. I know as far as the news is concerned, I'm just seeing the articles as of last night, which is not a lot of time. Because if I got here, I got in last night, Saturday morning. So if I saw it like it came out Friday, that gives them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're closing their doors. So that doesn't give you a lot of time. And if you're in New York and you live here in Arizona, that's getting back home across the country and prayerfully, hopefully having your fuel card to where they can get you back. Also, you have to understand, how are you really getting these drivers back? Because now that you've told most of your shippers, or they're getting the news that you're closing, hello, I got to get my freight moved. You got freight on the back of your truck that belongs to me. I need to get my freight, or you're one of the companies I was going to load freight to. I got to backpedal, and I don't want to deal with you because you ain't even going to be in business to get my freight across the country next week when you agreed. So how all that is going to play out, I don't know. It's going to be a major hiccup in the industry. And how many employees did they say? They have somewhere between 1,800 and 2,500 drivers that will be displaced out of a job for Celadon. That's a huge hit to the driver market. We've had a shortage, but that shortage is starting to change. So before, I used to tell you guys it was a driver's market. It's about to become possibly a company market again. Hopefully the treatment will end up being better. Hold on, what did he say? I just saw a Celadon truck yesterday as I was driving. Let's see here, hold on. Oh, I didn't have to do combination test. I just took the written test. I never did the combos. If you're just doing a written test, because I never had to do it. I mean, I have combination endorsements. It's just a written test. I just did my test on a regular 53-foot trailer with my regular tractor. I didn't have to do the combination. I don't know if you're talking about combination driving test. If you're just talking about the written test, that's not hard. You do study for it the same way you do all the other CDL tests. And I did a little electronic online test, and boom, passed. But I don't know, Celadon, Bill he swore, but I don't even know, I'm talking to him to let him know. I'm going to send him this. But Bill swore by Celadon. He thought it was a good company back in his day. I'm going to send him a message because I don't think he knows it's closing. But whatever you do, like I told you, a lot of people right now, my feeling when I got home, everything was pushing me here. And like I said, I had a health crisis with the Bell's palsy. But I'm also really geared more towards, if you're working for these trucking companies, I don't know, Camper Tiva. Hey, what's up, Camper Tiva? Welcome to the channel. I'm really, if you're working for these companies, I'm really more geared now with everything going on in the industry to try to be regional, or if you're going to be OTR, try to do something regional, somewhere where you're close to home, not where you're all over the continental U.S. I enjoyed being all over the continental U.S. If I ever had to drive again, no, I'm going to be regional or I'm going to be local, because I can't. I don't want to be that far. It's too up and down. And if something happens because somebody's not managing something right, it ultimately can affect you. Hey, Cat Eyes, what's up? But yeah, the Celadon, they I think it's over $42 million was the settlement out of the lawsuits that they agreed to. They're filing bankruptcy as of, I think they put it in for Saturday or Sunday. Hey, Robert, what's up? They put it in for Saturday or Sunday for the chapter, for whatever bankruptcy they're filing. And it said they're going to be closing the doors on the 9th, which is Monday. My prayer is that, hey, Bibliophile, what's up? My prayer is that they actually get the drivers home. That's really, because when these things happen, some of these companies are like, oh, we're out of business. And it's just like, and it happens not only in trucking. I mean, I know people that have gone, you're working maybe for a small organization or a company, and you go to work and all of a sudden there's chains on the doors. You know, when, especially when you get into mismanagement of money. And it happened with Enron. If you guys, I told you guys, go watch that. If you haven't seen the documentary, The Smartest Guy in the Room, please, 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 please. I think you can go to Amazon and Netflix, one of them. One of them you can watch it for free. I think you can watch it on YouTube for free. Called The Smartest Guy in the Room, the Enron story. The corruption that place did, and that wasn't a trucking company. That's just a company. They were foul. The upper management did a lot of foul stuff out of greed. And unfortunately, it impacted so many people, but the company was already toxic and run badly. And, you know, greed, how do I put this? One of the things that I've struggled with coming back into a corporate environment was the fact that people never see the bigger picture, okay? They always just do what's in my bubble to get my paycheck. And it's a struggle for me to go in with that attitude, but unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast. And in corporate America, we have a situation. I went in and give this an example, and I don't want this video to be too long. Because I'm a reefer driver, I noticed that the company I'm with is a starter company, one of the largest starter companies in the nation. And they got these reefer drivers out here. Well, another division, a branch that I did drive for under them, that they're merged with, whenever we would have like a temperature issue or something I'm driving, I would get an alert. This is what's in an automatic alert to the truck. Then the driver manager dispatch would send a message, hey Shannon, we're seeing that the temperature per our documentation should be -10, but you got it at -20. If you can prove to us why that's sitting at -20, we need to know, okay? We need copies of the bill of lading showing that should be at -20. If the customer said it should be at minus, then that trumps everything, right? So I would then have to take a picture, email that bill of lading over to the company. Well, under the division that I'm in, this division of this conglomerate, they don't require that of the drivers. They're like, oh, it's on the driver if the driver don't put it at the right temperature. Again, cut nose off, spite face. I get that you're like, oh, well, in the office, in my little environment, that's not our problem. Because you only see your box. What you're not seeing is how much did that wasted load just cost the company if you're not managing, you're not watching it. And because you're only worried about what's in your little box, you don't care because, hey, it's not on me. It's going to be on that driver in that truck. It's going to be on that department over there. That's their issue. I'm only going to worry about my little issue. But your little issue can affect the grand scheme of the money coming in this company that pays your payroll. Again, when we look through small glasses opposed to larger glasses and see the scope. But I have to do that because I'm not somebody in a management or in charge position or where I can say something and you can only say so much before they feel you're causing waves. So now at 51, keep my mouth shut, go in, get my job done, good morning, go, and I just have to play the game. Even though I know this is asinine. You're a starter company. So you got a lot of these babies. I talk to people on the phone. I just be sitting there sometime like this. Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And I mean, because I got drivers that call me and ask me where to find a truck stop. I I've drove for 6 years. Even in the beginning, I never called a driver manager and asked them how the hell to get to a truck stop. Ask them, I don't know where I'm at in the country. Ask them, do you know how I can get out of this situation? I've called one time where I was in a city. They sent me somewhere. The instructions on the truck, it was supposed to find an Amazon. It was taking me through to the directions they had was taking me through to where this storage facility was. I'm like, I'm not turning down that. And that's the only time I had ever been totally turned around. I knew what city I was in, but I'm like, I'm following the instructions y'all gave me on this thing to get to this place. It was a brand new facility. It wasn't pulling up on truck and GPS. But I never, ever, 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 ever called asking somebody to tell me where a damn truck stop was. You got newbies. These is babies who don't know what the hell they doing. You got people that don't know they supposed to fill up a damn reefer as soon as they get it. And you telling me it's on them? How much money are you going to pay if that load goes bad? Forget about being on them. How much does it cost the company if that load goes bad? So it's not even about them. It's about the load. And if it goes bad, and I'm saying it's not about them meaning that they're not a part of it. It is an education issue. But also it could be that your customer, you got too many cooks in the kitchen with the customer and somebody told you one temperature and the bill of lading shows another. These are things that are critical. I mentioned, I said, I work for another company and who you own. And why are we only, well, if the driver comes back and tells us that's what the temperature's supposed to be. And if it's wrong when they get to the consignee, then it's on them and they just lose their job. Okay, I get that you just don't care about the driver, but do you care about how many thousands of dollars you pay for that load that you just lost? It's just shenanigans. But again, it's these companies and this management, it's how they manage the stuff. Now just go in and Good Brother Trucking Fraternity motto per bill. If you pay me, I go in and do my job. If you pay me, as long as I go do my core job, pay me my money. But Celadon, it's sad. We're going to have about 1,800 to 2,000 drivers. They'll get work. CDL, we call it the NBA, never broke again. Thank you, Junior. And, they'll get work with some trucking company, whether local, whether OTR. Plenty of companies out here will pick them up. Plenty of companies still need drivers. But unfortunately, my whole concern is getting them home safely, getting them to where they can actually begin to put in to get another trucking gig and not being stuck, especially in winter months, somewhere in the middle of the damn country. So I'm going to put the link below. I'm going to go back and read y'all articles or your questions. But yeah, it's like $40-some million lawsuit, which folks ain't even gonna get that money. The people who sued them, they ain't gonna get that. They'll get maybe a fraction of it, possibly, but most of the legal fees, court costs, that's gonna eat up that 40, whatever they liquidate for. So that's gonna eat that up. But a lot of it was because of how they were doing the agreements under that greedy man who was taking their money. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, that's a bred thing that happens sometimes in these trucking companies. You get these guys, they get greedy, they ain't never had that much money before, and then they learn how to do something crooked, and some of them do. Some of them aren't, they have no integrity. So, anyway, y'all, I ain't gonna be on here. I don't want this video to be that long. I'm gonna say 2 and 2, but let me look and see if there's any questions. Well, Kim, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I really think the automated truck is going to have a big impact on trucking. Hey, Trucking in Hills, what's up? Hey, Robert, what's up? Okay, D, I'm not understanding your question. You said, am I understanding you correctly? What kind of person wouldn't feel any truck and you are just getting it? I don't understand your question. D, I don't understand the question. Publications that I look at, I do CDL Life. Um, there's a couple of them. CDL Life is the big one that I know that I'm part of. That's one I get mainly. West African Laredo, what's up? What happened to the female driver and trainer? I have no idea what you're talking about. What female driver and trainer? Kid Danger, which one are you talking about? I don't know which one you're talking about, baby. Oh, Bibliophile, she answered the question. I don't know what the question was about the newbie. Kid Danger, I don't know what you mean by the driver and trainer. I don't know what you mean by that. No idea. Oh, also, if you guys are watching the video, like, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, and share it out with somebody. Even though I'm not driving, I'll still be sharing. I'm going to be talking about some stuff because even talking to drivers in the office, I've had to start. I done took in my Atlas. I done took in my truck stop guide. I'm just blown away because I had no clue that drivers did. Some of the questions I get and some of the behaviors, I'm just like, this cannot really be the conversation. So, a lot of the new drivers, whenever you're a new driver, unfortunately, sometimes you get shafted. Hey Jay, what's up? 601. You get shafted, and the reason you get shafted is because the person who trains you, if you don't get a good trainer, all they really want to do is get the miles out of you to put the money in your pocket. Again, cut nose off, spite face. Because if you don't train this person, you just put this person on the road, and a damn weapon can be a weapon if driven wrong, can be dangerous if driven wrong. Hence the dude in Colorado who killed the 5 people, who probably we need to go find his trainer and put our foot in his behind or her behind because they didn't train this baby properly. And trucking school, there's a whole bunch of people who probably should be sitting in jail with that baby. But unless he was just a complete butthole. But what happens oftentimes with new drivers, you go to trucking school, you go to the training program. They put you on a truck with some yahoo who don't really want to train you. All they want is the money from you sitting behind the seat and going forward. Okay? So they don't teach you crap about the truck. They don't teach you crap about the industry. And you get off that truck, they give you a truck at XYZ Brothers Trucking Company. And let's say reefer. I like reefer. So in a reefer, there's several things you should have been trained if you learn to drive a reefer. A, it is critical for the reefer to have fuel in the damn reefer. It's critical for your truck to have fuel to get down the road. It's critical for you to know how to call road conditions, especially in the winter months. It's critical for you to know how to look and find out what the weather is if you're going through wintry states. It's critical that you need to know how to put fuel additive into the fuel when weather reaches below a certain temperature so you don't lose your reefer load and you don't sit frozen on the side of the road because your fuel has gel because it got too damn cold. It's critical for you to know how to make sure that the windshield washers work in snow and how to keep the washer fluid from freezing. It's critical for you to know how to drain your air tanks in the winter months so you don't get ice in the line and be laid over on your side. It's critical for you to know what kind of speed you should drive in wet, rainy weather. But if all I care about is making my money and having you sit in the front seat and go straight, I'm not going to discuss it with you. I'm not going to train you on it. I don't even want to really talk to you. I just want you to go straight, and you got to do your so many hours so you can get off my truck and get on your own truck. If you can do that, I'm fine. I'm going to lay back in the bunk, and I ain't teaching you nothing. And unfortunately, that is a good majority of the experiences, I would say a higher percentage of the experiences that new drivers have when they get these mentors on these trucks. Most trucking companies give a half butt, if at all, training program to the trainers. And because they're so desperate for OTR trainers, they don't really care. They just get somebody who get these kids enough time to hold the wheel and go forward. And now with the advent of the automatic truck, so you put somebody behind the wheel, you give them a load, it's an ice cream load, and they go pick it up at dryers. And unfortunately, they weren't trained to look at the fuel to see where it's at on the reefer. They go down the road, all of a sudden the light goes from green to red, and on the gauge it says low fuel. You're in the middle of bumflip A Egypt. I almost said the wrong word. I'm having been swearing. Bumflip Egypt, and you ain't got no fuel. So you call up your driver manager. The reefer's almost empty. Didn't you pick that reefer up in St. Louis? Yeah. There's a bunch of truck stops in St. Louis. Yeah. Why didn't you fuel up in St. Louis? I didn't know I needed fuel. I just saw the red light. Not trained. Not trained. Trained to hold the wheel and go straight. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do it. As Bill said, I can put a monkey in the front seat to hold a wheel and go straight. I'm trying to teach you how to survive and how to do the job out here. And that's where the training is lacking. So you get new drivers that have absolutely no clue of standard procedures. I had a driver the other night. Right now, he's sitting declined at Pepsi. He gonna tell me, it looks like a rat chewed up the bill of ladings. Ninja next. Stop it. You put the bill of lading somewhere in that truck. You probably don't keep a clean truck. You jacked up the bill of ladings, and by the time you got to Pepsi, they can't read it because it's toe up, jacked up. You didn't care, threw it in the corner, and you gonna tell me, well, I got a next load. Well, then you might want to keep your paperwork in better condition. I had a binder, and I told him, I said, I'm guilty. I had a receipt that I did. I paid for a washout at one trucking company. Had the receipt, set it in the seat, was running. That's why I always tell people, slow down. Get a method going on. When I talk, put a method. I put all my paperwork in that folder. Why? Because I learned from that wash. If I pay that out of my pocket, I will never do it again. I start putting all my receipts together, all my paperwork together. That way, when it's time to reimburse, you reimburse. He got there, bill of lading's toe up. Something he probably did in the truck. Somebody looked like a rat got on his truck and ate. Bye. Is that how they look when they gave it to you at the shipper, which is Pepsi in Arizona? And now you're in Pepsi in Wichita? No. That's not how it looked. And if it is how it looked, you should have asked, as being a professional driver, I need a better copy of this. I don't want no problems at the other end. That I can't read that. It's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me. Anyway, I'm going to get off here, guys, because I didn't mean for this to go 30 years. I mean 30 years, 30 minutes. Oh, I don't know. She never contacted me back. To my knowledge, I have not talked to her. I told her she could reach out to me anytime. She had both of my cell phone numbers. She talked to me and Danielle. I'm a person, I put it out there, and after I do that, I leave it alone. I told her that she actually, you could tell it mentally she almost had the mental situation of a rape victim. And I mean, Danielle will probably attest to this if she's still on here. We talked to her, and we wondered if a lot more took place on that truck with that guy based on our conversation with her. The Danielle actually talked to one of the recruiters and brought it up. They don't care. Unfortunately, that particular company, and I left that company. I didn't stay with them very long. I wasn't even, I don't even know if I was there 90 days, and then I came back home. I was seeing things too, but the way that whole situation was handled was horrible. The felony dude I had on my truck was horrid. Um, and God bless them. I hope they eventually get it right, but I can foresee a big lawsuit with them coming. Who was it? Was it C.R. England just had one of those where all the sexual abuses that they were covering up between female and males has come to the fold, and I think they got a class action lawsuit coming up dealing with that whole thing. Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know what happened with her. I no idea. And I told her, I said, I personally, I think you should go in and talk to HR, but understand if you do that, you know, you might lose your job. So at this point, you have a CDL, you can get another job. Um, but she did not do some steps right. So anytime you guys, as I said, it's bad. Anyway, I'm gonna end this one because I want this to be mainly about Celadon. I'll probably be doing some other videos later, like an open video. We can just have an open discussion. Again, like, subscribe, share it out, and I'll try to find the links. I'll be putting the links below for CDL Life, and I forgot who the other one was. There was a couple of them, and I'm gonna see if I can find my old video where I talked about the closure with the Celadon, because I thought it was going to happen a lot sooner. It did take them a while, but as I said, the chickens come home to roost. They were only able to really, you know, try to circumvent this for so long, and then eventually you gotta deal with it. So unfortunately, they dealing with it. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. Peace.